When I'm walking down the street, people are looking at me. What they see is a masterpiece created by the King. I am different by design, and I am fearfully and wonderfully made. I may not look like you and you me, but that's the way it's supposed to be. Dare to be you, dare to be me, and dare to be different and unique. I'm gonna be the best me I can be by letting His glory shine through. Dare to be you, dare to be me, and dare to be different and you.
Well. Hey, we back.
Hey,
Everybody. Hey, girls. How y'all doing?
hey, everybody. How are you?
Great.
Everybody.
What you singing, Tori? What is that song you singing?
Oh no, I was saying everybody.
Y'all give Tori a clap for her singing skills tonight.
Her rendition.
That was a good debut, Tori. That was a good debut.
I'm gonna take Carmen's slot one day.
All right now, hey.
Listen. We are so happy to be here tonight. Hey, Karen. Hey, King's Limousine Party Bus.
Oh,
Are you in Memphis, King's Limousine Party Bus? Let us know where you are.
Yeah.
I have to just get on that party bus one of these days.
yeah.
Karen said, "Sing, Tori, with the microphone. You go give it a mic then."
And then just
That's right.
Oh my goodness. Listen, I'm so excited tonight. Sylvie's not with us tonight. Sylvie, we love you. Mwah. And I believe hopefully she'll be back with us next week. But we have a special guest. And y'all, this lady is just simply phenomenal. When I say educated, brilliant, smart, all of those things, and funny and just down to earth, just a good sister, can sing, all that good stuff.
Yeah.
Like if you want to grow up and be like her, she's a great role model. But I'm so honored to have my sister, Dr. Precious Boyle, in the house. How are you, Precious?
I am wonderful. I'm so happy to be here with y'all tonight, the sisters. I'm on Sista Story. Mama, I made it.
Listen. I want you to say that too when we on our on a network that we're trying to get on. So we're definitely happy. Look, you're gonna be our resident doctor. That's what you're.
I'm there. I'm there.
Right.
That's good.
I'm so excited to have you. You look beautiful as always. And she is the creator of Me University and this wonderful journal. I call it a journal, and hopefully that's right. 30-day journey to me, Precious Boyle, PhD. Y'all, this is look how rich that looks. Like it's so
professional,
beautiful. And then you get these little stickers, and she's gonna tell you all about it. But I was just thoroughly impressed. First of all, I was waiting because I did the pre-order to get mine, and I didn't order the girls' theirs yet. But after tonight, I'm sure they're gonna go order it themselves.
Absolutely.
Because when I tell you it is phenomenal, and the way you have it laid out to do, you're gonna talk about that. But girl, that's so genius. And I'm gonna steal that, okay? I just want you to know I'm a copy. I'm not stealing, I'm a copy because that was just genius. I'm telling y'all, she's a genius. I just love her. And we're going to learn a lot about her tonight. So we're going to kick it over. Rose going to guide the conversation tonight. Yeah. And because last week, what we talked about last week, Rose?
Last week we talked about, now I did sleep a couple of days in between, and now
We'll talk about your book, The Good Life. Living the
We talking about my book. That's right. I'm trying to be as modest as I can be. But yes, we did talk about my book, was Living the Good Life on Purpose. But, tonight we're so happy to have you, Dr. Precious. And
Yes.
you seem like your personality just fits your name, that you are just a precious jewel. And so we're so happy to have you with us tonight. One thing that really was impressive to me. And I wanted to ask you this question. I'm sure we're going to have a series of questions for you. I'm sure Tori's going to have some, and Erica, and maybe the audience. If you all have any questions for her as she's speaking, please put those in the chat, and we'll do our very best to make sure that those questions are directed to Dr. Precious. But you talked about Me University, right? And when I'm listening to, different things and self-help books, it just seems like lately everyone has been talking about self-care and doing this and doing that for themselves. And what does that look like? I can give you a prime example of my life. I heard someone say about how do you take care of you? And I really had to sit in that moment for a second. Like, well, let me say, I had to sit in it for about 2 days because I did not really know how to answer that question.
Yeah.
And I had to think about what was important to me. And I'm sure those of us who are listening tonight have that same maybe question, like, I never considered what is important to me. What do I want to do? What do I like to do as far as self-care? What does self-care look like to me?
Yeah.
And so I'm sure we're going to get into some of those things maybe tonight or however. But when I saw Me University, okay, just the title alone, Me University, that told me that I can be selfish at some point.
Please.
Right? That told me that even though because this is the thing, as I didn't know what self-care was or what it looked like, because I felt like I'm married, I have 3 boys. If I decide to steal away, I felt like the thought of it made me feel guilty.
Yeah.
But when I saw Me University, that said a lot for my personal self, to say it's okay at some point for you to be selfish, to be able to recharge yourself.
Yeah.
So tell us a little bit about yourself and how you led up to this title of Me University. And why university? Because I didn't do good in school. I graduated, but I didn't do good. I didn't do good in school. I graduated by the help of the good Lord. But tell us, I know there is some good depth in that, why you chose that. So the floor is yours to kind of help us, and then we'll guide ourselves into some questions.
Yeah. Listen, there are so many things in everything you just said that I want to unpack, but I'm going to start at the beginning. I'm not going to take y'all back to like birth and early childhood, but I'm going to take you back to 8th grade, because in 8th grade at Prattville Junior High School, a group of us got together and with the help of our teachers, put on the very first Black History program that the school had ever seen when I was in 8th grade. Y'all, I'm 43. It wasn't that long ago. Yes, in 8th grade.
That's right.
Well, I was the student speaker. And this year, that particular year, 8th grade, kind of going to 9th grade, is where I think I found my voice, is where I remember actually speaking up, seeing things, but not saying anything. But that year, like, I spoke up a lot more. And that year, I was the student speaker at that Black History program. And the thing that I remember, like, I don't remember the details, again, it was 8th grade, but I remember saying that we need you to be who you say you are. That was in 8th grade. And the mantra of Me University is be who you say you are. So all the way back then, there was something in me that I didn't know. Like, I had no idea that I could do this for a living. Like, this was a real job. Like, teach people to be who they say they are. Like, who does that? That's not a thing. So I had to grow into it. long story short, I went into education. I was a teacher in the classroom for 13 years before going into administration. I coached teachers, I mentored teachers, I became a school leader and opened Klondike Prep in Memphis. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful experience, but it taught me a whole lot about what I wanted to do and what I did not want to do. A lot. So I enjoyed coaching. I enjoyed helping people to uncover in the moment in the classroom. I can walk you through the pedagogy of, how to structure the lesson, but in that moment in the classroom, that's on you. So you've got to know who you are to be able to give the kids what they need in that moment. The decisions you make in that moment are based on who you are. And so that's when I started to get even more interested in, like, how are people actually making those in the moment decisions? What's happening? So I went into coaching and did a lot more with emotional intelligence in particular. So I went through the Daniel Goleman emotional intelligence cohort and learned a lot about self-awareness and all the other domains, the other 3 domains of emotional intelligence. But self-awareness is where it struck home for me. Because like you, Ro, like being me outside of who I was as a title to other people was foreign. I'm a mother, I'm a daughter, I'm a child, I'm a principal, I'm an educator, I'm a teacher. All those titles, that's where I felt my identity was. But once I started stripping back titles, and tried to get to who am I? Like, who am I? Like, what is my brand? Who am I as a person? What do people feel? What do they get when they interact with me? Do I like that? Is that the feeling I wanted? Because at times I felt like I was being 2 different people. In the classroom, I was strict. You need to have this. Like, it was very much structure and strict. But at home, like, you can't bring that home. I can't bring that to my husband. Like, well, you should have had this. No, we can't operate like that. So I had to figure out, like, who am I? What's true no matter where I am? Who am I? And so when I started to learn more about who I was as a person, it drove me more into figuring out what is self-care? What is soul care? What do I need to learn more about? And so the distinction that I make between those two, self-care, that's Calgon take me away, right? That's the, I need a massage. That's the, I need to go on a vacation. I need to walk on the beach. I need to have these different experiences that are about me pulling out of my reality and going into this temporary place where I can be me, be the real me, and then come back into my reality refreshed. That's self-care. Soul care is paying attention to what's happening in my reality so that when I pull out, I can learn more about what I need to discover about me that will help me in my reality.
That's good.
Yeah. So if I know that the reason I've been paying attention and the reason that I feel like I'm overwhelmed and I need to step away is because I have all of these tasks that I'm working through every day. I have this checklist that I'm trying to get through every day. And because I'm so focused on that checklist, I'm not focused on living. I'm just focused on finishing the task and doing it perfectly. I'm not living. So I feel overwhelmed. So when I pull out into my self-care, I may go get the massage, but on the ride or on the drive or however I'm getting there, I need to be pouring into me about how can I live? What is the missing piece between my checklist and me living?
That is so
Yeah, all of that just bubbles up in Me University. It's a place where you can be a student of your thoughts and your actions to be a better you in a structured way. You know how people say, and I'm gonna pause and take a breath in a minute. But you know how people say, I'm trying to be the best version of me, or I'm trying to be the most authentic me. Yeah, but do you know the current you? Who is the current you?
That's
So you're
good.
trying to be a version that you can't even imagine because you don't even know the real you yet, the current you. There's no there's no switch to flip. We say it so casually, trying to be the most authentic me. It's so casual. Like you can just flip that switch and turn on the most authentic version of you. No, it's a
Mhm.
process. And so, Me University is about the process, going through the process of learning who you are to get closer to that version of you where you can be at peace.
Wow. That's so good. Ah, that's so good. Tori, you raised your hand. I know you have something. You were like me, you know. But really though, I think we all can say me. But then what
Yes.
she said about knowing the current you, right?
Yes.
When you said that, my inner self said, ouch,
Ooh.
Yes.
ouch. Oh, okay. Do I really know the current me?
Yeah.
So Tori, when she said that, tell us what were you thinking when she was like, you want to be the best version of you? What when you say that in your own general life, what kind of terms were you really thinking about in order to do? And then when she said the current you, what type of self-awareness did you come to?
It was like, ouch, like, oh, wait, what? Wait a second. Because, I am very guilty of saying I'm trying to be I'm being the most authentic that I can be.
Mhm.
And it's like, who is that? Are you truly authentic? Before we started the show earlier, I was talking with Dr. Precious and Lady E and just had a very truthful moment. Um, and that moment was we were in our private group chat talking, and one of our sisters, Sylvie, was talking about something that she just recently created and how that was just so ordained that God revealed this to her in just a confirmation of things. And oftentimes, when we see things like that, and it's like, what am I doing? What should I be doing? Should I be doing something? What is it that I need to be doing? Oh, I know I have something to do. Wait a minute. Am I not writing enough? Am I not doing this here? And I'm not doing this there. I'm not doing this here. But in actuality, it's like you are right where you're supposed to be.
Yeah.
You really are right where you're supposed to be. It is the point of being present and current with yourself and
Mhm.
in your feelings, but understanding that it is a journey. If
Yeah.
you're someone that's always you're ever evolving, you're never the same person. You're not 43. I mean, you're not 33 or 23
Mhm.
anymore,
Yes.
or our 33 and 23s, you're not a teenager anymore, right? And so it's just like you grow and you mature, and it's just like there's levels of self.
Yeah.
Mhm.
There's
Yeah.
levels of self. And so
Right.
that's what was like it was full circle when she said that, because
Mhm.
that made me like, oh, I do often say that, not really realizing what that means when we say that, but like, oh, really allow me to get to know me.
Yeah.
Let me get to figure out who I am. And it's
Yeah.
okay to be right here. It really is okay to be right here. Um,
Yeah.
I will say this, I hear you talk about this and your passion in all of this, Dr. Precious. What made you decide that I'm going to take this out? I'm going to make this university where it's for every woman
That's
or
a good
every person.
Yeah.
What gave you that energy to do that?
Mm.
What pushed you
Good
into the
question.
ground?
Yeah, good question. So, as I went through the emotional intelligence cohort, the Daniel Goleman cohort, um, I was one of a few people who looked like me.
Mm,
It was a huge cohort of people, but I was one of a few who looked like me. And so when I asked on a call, asked Daniel Goleman himself, who, if you could work with any African American, Black, however you want to term it, male or female, in the area of emotional intelligence, who would
mm,
that be? And he didn't really have an answer for me.
Mhm.
So for me, it said a lot about emotional intelligence as a philosophy, as a research-based concept, has been reserved as a luxury for a certain group of people.
Mhm.
Whereas the rest of us are like, wait, emotional intelligence, what is that? What is that? What I mean, I understand emotions, I understand intelligence, but what is emotional intelligence? Like we just haven't had that concept. It's not something that we grew up with, it's not something people talk about. For us, if you have emotions, that's weakness. That's you don't show vulnerability, you don't show emotions. That's weakness. You don't show people that. You never let them see you sweat, right? And so for me, it was as I got more into emotional intelligence and realized how few of us, and there are a few, quite a few of us actually who do this work, but we're not doing it at the level of a Daniel Goleman or someone who's very well known in the emotional intelligence space. For me, it's about taking the research language out because the research language and that terminology makes it seem like it's foreign, makes it seem like it's a luxury, and it's not something that we can all attain. So I consider what I do as everyday emotional intelligence.
Mm.
It's in every single thing you do. The
Mm.
way you think about yourself, the way you talk to other people, the way you engage with other people, the people directly around you, the people on your job, the way you think about it, the way you talk about it, it's all you. And so if we can grow our self-awareness, which is the base layer of emotional intelligence, we try to go straight to relational intelligence. We try to go straight to relationship management with other people and how do we manage the relationships that we have. But self-awareness is the foundation for everything else. And when I saw that there was just not a lot of literature, there was not a lot of space for people who look like us to have conversations around self-awareness, that's when I was like, yeah, this may not be something that can just live in my coaching sessions because those are one-on-one. This is
Yeah.
something that the world needs. And the more people I can share this with, it'll change your life. You're trying to
Mhm.
get to a life that you can't even yet imagine because we're stuck where we are and we don't know why we're stuck. And the
Yeah.
only person that can get us unstuck is us.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And
Wow.
so, yeah, the idea of being a student of you is what came up for me. How do you become a student of your thoughts and your actions? Because that's
Mhm.
what changes your life.
Yeah.
I love it.
I love that. I'm those of you who are joining, I'm going to reset the room. Those of you who are listening to us, we are speaking on a journey to me with Dr. Precious, and she has written this wonderful journal. She's speaking on, and we're going to give you the information a little bit later on how you can go about purchasing that. And Renee just held it up. I know I can tell you, I will be definitely getting that is Me University. And so this is her website that we're putting here. As you can see, is www.silentrocked.com, and that is rocked, ROCKED.com. So, and as we were talking right before we went live, she said, "No rocks will cry out for me," and I love that as one of my favorite scriptures that I love. So, silent rocked. So,
Amen.
go out to her website and share, purchase this, and buy one for a friend. Because this is definitely going to change your life. When you look at all of the things that are going on in the world, you can easily say somebody needs Me University.
Right?
Mm.
There was a shooting, at a club or something that went on. 11 people that last I heard were killed. There is something going on with the rage that is coming from somewhere,
Yeah.
and it's just so important for us to become self-aware. So we are about to reach the top of the hour. And so we want to take a brief commercial break because I know that Erica wants to ask you something, and I don't want us to spill over from having this commercial break. Now, Dr. Precious, I want you to hold on tight, girl, because I'm
Yes,
telling you,
ma'am.
our last week commercial break was so spicy. It was
Awesome.
so awesome. Okay.
Yep.
So I don't know what we're getting ready to see right now, but I want you to kind of clench your fist a little bit Hold on, and we'll be back just right after this commercial break, okay?
All right. Before the break, I do want to give a special shout out to my Aunt Bessie. She's watching tonight. Hey, Aunt Bessie. So glad you're watching. Shout out to my mom. Shout out to my sister cousins. And
sister cousins.
and y'all know we haven't heard from Aunt Shirley in Pine Bluff in a minute, but Aunt Shirley, in case you watch this replay, we love you. We miss you.
Yes, we miss you, Aunt Shirley.
You know, we love you. Lavita McCool, it's good to see you, my sister. It's been a long
Beta.
Oh, I love she's another brilliant sister, y'all, in the Memphis area. I guess she's still in the Memphis area, but she's brilliant too. And Sharon Chambers, hey, hello. All of you. And okay, y'all, commercial break, and we coming back with some more of Dr. Precious.
Yes.
Journey to me, loving all of this.
I told you. You know what? This is all about a better way with Renee.
Yes.
That's just how it is. A better way with Renee. So,
Can I say one thing? Can I say one thing?
Sure.
So one of the commercials is Her Stage, Her Story, that's coming late spring. Her Stage, Her Story, Her Style, and Dr. Precious will be one of the speakers at that event.
Awesome.
Yes.
Yes, I will.
And that was a powerful moment that we exchanged over the phone when I called and asked her to be on the show, and then shared that vision with her. And it was a powerful moment. And we just know that God is just always in the midst. Like, it's so important that we obey God. Like her creating Me University, that's an obedience move. So it's like you're educated and you do all of that, but you're taking what you've learned, and God is using that to bless the kingdom, women in the kingdom, and women everywhere, really. But kingdom people, as believers, we need to be aware of a lot of things that we have not been aware of. And I'm so grateful that you're walking in your calling, because you're going to help thousands upon thousands upon thousands of people. And so we're grateful to have you. Okay, bro, I'm sorry. I'm good.
All right. So, yes, we're so happy. We can't wait until the spring. And so we'll have more information coming about that soon. So happy to have you with us again, Dr. Precious. And you were just sharing some great things, some great nuggets with us. And so, Erica, you've waited so patiently. I can see you saying, hurry up and get to me. I know we said so much. So I know you may want to ask, say something in reference to what we've already discussed today, and maybe ask Dr. Precious a question. So I'm handing it
Well,
over to you.
let's go,
Well,
Lady E.
I just truly am just blessed to be here and grateful to Renee for having such auspicious and beautiful and a talented guests who are just all about going for that dream, going for the vision that God has given them, and being connected to you and Tori and Sylvie. All you guys are so awesome. So I'm just blessed to be here, first of all. And listening to everything that has been said up until now, I mean, it's like, what do I say? Y'all have said everything, and it's been a full conglomerate of everything a woman is about. And when I think about, I'm sitting here thinking about today's woman and being in the church, and I talk to tons of young ladies, older ladies, all the time, and I would love to have a university to send them to. Do you do scholarships? I'm just kidding, but but a university to send them to, and your vision, your dream is awesome. And I'm thinking about the women of today, and if there's a place, and if so, where is it that is for, like you mentioned earlier, our people. We have a stigma in our minds of, and it's being broken today, but a stigma about getting counseling, a stigma about any type of sessions where you're being helped or taught or coached. And when you're dealing with a person, which it's been amazing how many I have come across who've had mental issues and not even realized it, and who are into what they're into drugs sometimes. They're into denial sometimes of what's really happening. They're into this, they get a shell of self-preservation where it's like it's a cloak to prepare or to protect them from anything that could be for their good. And so they just shut that down and begin to say to themselves, I'm fine, I don't need anything. And they pretty much treat you as if you're the enemy for even suggesting maybe you should consider and dealing with that type of a woman, because as I believe Tori and you mentioned, we go through different stages. And at every stage, we come into an awareness of where we are. And some stages are times where the Lord is carrying us sometimes. And we get to a rest place and we can do like Habakkuk says, examine ourselves and get an idea where we are and what do I need from here. But where does the conversation start in situations dealing with teenagers or women who have been hurt deeply and have gotten into a self-preservation mode and they stay there to protect their heart, or women who have dealt with things and it's caused mental issues and they don't recognize that because they don't want to. And where do we start that conversation so they know that there even is a university, something so vast and so large that is okay with God for them to do and to grow and to learn, because they feel like, I don't need that. But where does that conversation start?
Yeah, but one thing is to keep in mind that God wants us to grow, right? Like we are planted to grow. And so the framework that I use for Me University and even the journal is laid out this way in the 4 nutrients. So if you think about yourself as being planted, what happens with a plant? The roots go down into the soil and pull up the nutrients that it needs. And so those 4 nutrients that I talk about in the journal that's broken down, we start with unspoken rules as the first nutrient, examining the unspoken rules that you're living by. Really being able to articulate those rules makes a big difference. Ro, I see your face. Unspoken rules, because a lot of times we'll say things to certain people, but not to other people.
Right.
And we need to examine, what is that rule with that person that's unspoken? What are the things that we will do and won't do, and why? Even in the church, the traditional things that are unspoken rules that we just do because that's the way it's always been done, but no one really articulates why we do that, those unspoken rules. And a lot of times we're hurt because we haven't articulated the rule that we're living by, and someone else is living by a different rule. We all have our own because they're unspoken.
Right.
Wow.
So if you're trying to be in relationship with someone and you're living by your own set of unspoken rules and y'all aren't having a conversation about them, there's going to be some conflict.
Oh, yes.
So that's the first place to start. What are the unspoken rules you're living by in every area of your life? From finances to the workplace, with colleagues, with managers. There are things that you say and don't say that we've been taught by observing. Not even that someone has said, you don't say this to your manager, or you don't do this with your manager. We've just seen it. So there are things we don't say or that we don't do. A lot of us don't give our managers feedback because it's unspoken.
That's
You don't
so
tell your manager what they're doing or what they're not doing. It's an unspoken rule, unless they ask you directly, because we don't know how to have those conversations. But it starts with the unspoken rules as a spouse. Who does what in the house? It's an unspoken rule sometimes. Who helps with homework? Who cooks dinner? Who keeps things clean? Who helps with the kids? Who does this? Who does that? Those are sometimes unspoken rules. And when the person is not doing what the unspoken rule is that you think they should be doing, it's a problem.
Yeah, conflict.
Because people think you're mind readers, right? I love that, because they think you're supposed to know, but you have to be able to communicate your unspoken rule. To me, when I wrote down, we're not mind readers. You know, don't expect someone to read your mind when you were saying that. So I just love it.
Yeah.
Carry on.
So the conversation begins with the unspoken rules. And once you start uncovering what those unspoken rules are, then you can dance over into internalized beliefs.
Internalized beliefs.
Because what you believe about you and what you believe about the people that you are engaging with matters in how you show up. It determines how you show up, how you engage, how you interact, what you believe about you. Are you, for a lot of us, especially in our workplace, in our jobs, do you believe you're qualified for the job you have? Because that dictates how you move in the job, right? You have the title of boss, CEO, whatever the title is, but you move like you just somebody that worked there because you're nervous, you're scared, you're not sure that you should have this particular position. So what you believe about you and what you believe about other people matters. All of that's at play in your soil, in every encounter, in every engagement with anybody else, and even with yourself. What you believe about you makes a difference.
Dr. Precious, if someone, and I've been guilty of that, I'm that person that didn't, I'm much better now, but I was that person that didn't see myself for who God called me to be. You know, I always saw myself smaller.
We all have done that.
Yeah, and I never saw myself as someone to be looked up to, or someone that was this example or this mentor or a teacher. I just didn't see it. Other people would see it and speak it over me. But as far as me, I'm like, I just love people. You know, I would belittle it. I would speak it down. So what would I get from being at your university in that case?
But what I heard you say was there's an unspoken rule that you don't own your strengths.
Okay, yes.
You don't stand in your strengths, because we've been taught by observation of our parents, our mothers, the women in our lives. When people give them compliments, what do? We watch them and we imitate what we see. What do? Do they shy away from the compliment, or do they step into it and say, yeah, because I've been working on this, so I know this is a strength. I feel this. Thank you for affirming that. I feel that too.
You know,
That's good.
No, go ahead, Renee.
Well, no, I was just going to make reference to what you just said about owning it. I was in a meeting one day, and Tori may remember this. and she was my boss at the time. And and I remember going to this meeting, and I was the only African American in the meeting. But I remember the person across from the table in front of me. She said, we're just looking at our achievements that we have made, and she said, Renee, you really need to own that. And that was so hard to do.
Yeah.
And one of the reasons it was so hard to do was because I've been confident in my jobs before, but I'd had other areas where I wasn't. But because I had been talked down to so bad in a relationship, that then started feeding over into because I started looking at failures and looking at myself as a failure because this didn't work. And so I literally just had to say, when she said, own it. And I don't know why I felt like there's a lot of guilt to own that. Like, I'm supposed to give Jesus all the glory. And so here's the thing, though. But here's the thing. We're not supposed to think more highly than we ought of ourselves and esteem others, well, but it doesn't say that we can't think good of ourselves.
Right.
So sometimes the interpretation of that, I had a different interpretation of that, as if God did not want me to own the fact that, yes, I'm good at this. And yes, and here's the thing, everything he created in the beginning, he called it good.
Yes.
And so I had to start speaking over everything that I created, everything I did, I call it good now. It took a long time to get there because there were other factors in my life that made me think less of me. So therefore, I couldn't be all the confident person that I wanted to be at all times, And so becoming a student of you, like with me university, but just you talking about those internalized beliefs, those were limiting beliefs that I had on myself.
Yes.
And only I could really free myself from that. Because God, he's just like, just let it go. Don't think that way. And that's really powerful.
Yeah. And it's work. It's work. That's why when people say like, I'm going to be the most authentic me. Yeah, that's work. That's not something that just happens. That takes work, because we have all these experiences that we're bringing to it that have been negative experiences in a lot of cases. And so it's taught us to water ourselves down, to not stand up and show in it, droop your shoulders so you don't seem like you think too highly of yourself. No, pick your shoulders up, sis. He gave it to you.
Come on. I love it.
Dr. Precious, ladies, I just have to think about this. When you said to be authentically you, it's like, okay, now and more I keep hearing this. It's like, oh, you got to see all my flaws if you're going to see some authenticness. Look, I ain't perfect. It's going to be some days where you ain't going to see the good smile. Listen, it ain't going to be all of the edges may be curly and not brushed. Right. It's just like, you ain't gonna get the best every day. If you want the authentic story.
Right.
And that, you saying that means like, okay, I have to be comfortable with the truth of I'm not this well put together person every day. I'm going to be off.
Yeah.
And I wasn't made perfect.
Nope.
And I believe, that, wait a minute, we hitting on a lot of things right here.
You got to have a part two.
Yeah,
we do. Because this goes deeper into the fact of the facade that many of us hold. I'm so guilty of that, just like everything is peachy keen, everything. But what's happening is that you're suppressing your own feelings.
Exactly.
And I'm giving you this fact that this is the authentic me when I'm not even being true to my feelings. So how can I be true to myself? Which means that you're really not getting the authentic me.
Yeah. Yeah. It usually swings in two different corners. One, your version of authentic me is say whatever comes to your mind and let the other people figure out how to deal with it, because I'm being authentic, but I'm really just being cutthroat.
Right.
Calling it authentic.
Don't care.
Right. The other version is performance. We call it authentic, but it's just performance because we're not even really sure yet who we are. We haven't done the work to really be students of our thoughts and actions, to know enough about us, to know that that's the authentic us, which is work. It takes being a student of your thoughts and actions right now to figure out, okay, what did I do today? Here's a good example. We have a lot of people who talk about values. And right now, the word equity is really hot, right? That's a hot word. It's a buzzword. Everybody wants to be equitable. That's real cute. But what does that look like?
Right.
What does that look like? What does equity look like for you? If that's your value, what does that look like for you? Don't give me the performance. Don't give me the diversity performance or the spiel or the mission statement. What did you do today or yesterday or this week?
Come on.
Actually reflects that you are an equitable person or an equitable organization. Equity is action. Your values are action. And for a lot of us, we don't yet know what our values are. We've adopted those pretty ones. They're real cute. They sound real good on the application. And when we do interviews, they sound real good. But if somebody pushes us to say, what did you actually do? Give me an example of that value or how that value shows up in your day-to-day work, in your day-to-day life.
Yeah.
We would have to pause for a minute. And that's where being a student comes in.
Dr. Precious, I would love to have something. I'm from I'm from Memphis, but I have church. I have churches in a small town, which is a city now in Clarksdale, Mississippi. It was a town, but they're a city now.
Yes.
And I would love to have a conversation with a lot of young ladies, because what you just said, we know what to say. And we know how to look. It's almost like the hair, the makeup, and the clothes. You know, we know how to have that illusion of something that we want to be, but how to actually become that person that's on the inside. I would love to push the envelope with all of them and push them to that point where they got to admit and let it out and be genuine and truthful about who they are and where they are and what they want from here. I don't know if we could, I'm just throwing it out there, Renee, but if we ever could, I would love, if you do that, put us on the list.
Yeah, would love to. So we've talked about unspoken rules, internalized beliefs, and a little bit about values. The other thing that was cued for me, Lady E, when you said that, was the reinforced characteristics is the fourth nutrient that we talk about. The reinforced characteristics, those things that we've been celebrated for. For a lot of us, we've been celebrated for characteristics that no longer serve us.
Right. That's good.
Or they don't serve us in certain situations, but we try to blanketly apply them to everything.
Yeah. Wow.
God.
And you have
so
to
let me ask you, why, in your opinion, when you wrote that, because you said that for a reason, right? You said they reinforce characteristics and we try to apply them in places that do not apply and not applicable for it
anymore. Yeah.
Yeah.
Why do we do that? Why is that?
Because it's been so celebrated and reinforced. So here's an example. For me, leadership is a characteristic that I've been celebrated for my entire life. Being a leader. Oh, she steps up, she takes initiative, she's a leader, she does this, she does that. That's what leaders do. All my life, it's been celebrated in one way in terms of awards or, anything growing up, all of these different celebrations for me being a leader. We were on a road trip with my husband and my family going to a volleyball tournament. We had a flat tire. The gauge on the screen said that, it showed the tire continuously going down, going down, going down. My husband determined that we could get to the next stopping point. If I had dug into my leadership skills, I would want to know, what led you to the decision that we could get to the next point? What information did you have that I did not have? Can you share that information? Because I need a little bit more to be able to really step into leading this process here, because I don't know that we can get to the next step, the next stop. What if the tire continues to go flat? What math have you done that will help me to understand and get on the page with you?
Right. Yeah.
So you have to know when to apply the leadership skills, when it's appropriate. But we try to just do it blankly, and a lot of us would like ask a whole lot of those questions or some others of our spouses if we were in that situation, and it would just cause friction because we're trying to apply a reinforced characteristic to a situation that we're not using wisdom and discerning when to use it and when not to.
Right.
Wow. I tell you.
That this is
Woo.
just very enlightening. I don't know about you ladies, but it really just sitting here, it's like almost a jerk to sit back and have your own self-reflection
Yeah,
and really rethink how you're thinking about yourself, how you're viewing yourself, how you're showing up for yourself.
Yeah.
absolutely.
Absolutely.
Listen, I just wanted to shout out a few people. Hey, Chandrea Black. Hello, Harriet. Thank you for joining us. Ken, welcome anytime, my brother. You're just here for the knowledge. Welcome. Listen, I'm going to do something. Well, I'm going to suggest something. I'm going to say something. I'm going to do something.
Just gonna do whatever this is.
Oh,
That's her being her.
I haven't had in all my nutrients today, so please forgive me. But I want us to, if you're a part, I want you to join the Sister Story Facebook group. And in March, by March, everybody should have their book. Everybody should have this journal. And I want you to go on a 30-day journey with us with Dr. Precious. Would you be willing to do that with us, Precious?
So here's what's interesting. I just met with my assistant. I call her my assistant, but she's really my go-to right hand, all the things. And we literally just talked about doing just that in March. So I would love to jump into it. Yeah.
So,
that's awesome.
how the book works is so good because when you get it, first of all, like I said, it's super gorgeous. But she has this, I don't know if y'all can see, it's the QR code. And you literally click, put your camera phone, iPad, whatever to it, and it takes you to the video. So you have a welcome video intro about how this works. And every day you got the QR code for the next, and your video's about what, 2 minutes, 3 minutes?
A max of 2 minutes.
Max of 2 minutes. And she's guiding you through this journey, which is genius, but
I like that.
And
I love it.
So I want us, because I believe God is calling us. We started our Good Success program last year, prepare for next. It was Good Success 2023, and we're gonna host that again in the spring, late spring or mid spring. But I would love, so we're all about making sure we're on point, that we're in purpose, so that we can live our good life. And this is going to be so key, because even in our Good Success group coaching program, we talk about removing what we have to unlearn, those limiting beliefs. And I think that it would just be such a blessing to you all, to all of those who are in the Facebook group. If you're not in the Facebook group, go join. It's a private group, and we're going to be over in there in March, and we're going to start this 30-day journey together. By then, you should be able to. You should have your book in your hand and your journal, and you're ready to go. And you can go to silentrock.com. There it is on the screen. Go get this today. Order it. Order it everywhere. If you gotta wait, if you get paid on the 1st or the 15th, now get this book.
Go get it. Yes, Tori.
Go get this. This is going to, I just flipped through it when I got it, and I was just like, oh my goodness. And then when I saw the videos, it's like, oh, and I think I shared one with y'all, her introduction to it. And it's just going to bless your life. And so I'm so excited that you would do this with us, even though we get it day by day, but maybe there'll be times we can schedule where you can come on and just have a group chat with us in the private Facebook group.
Would love to, because it's so important. I think that And Tori and I think we're talking about this with Lady E before we hopped on. A lot of people, we get in the space where we're like, oh, we should be writing a book and all of that. And I was like, I didn't have book energy. That's not what God gave me. God didn't give me a book.
Right.
I want to see the application of the work. I want to see you do the work. I want to see you learn it, take it in, and I want to see you use it. And
Yeah.
so that's why the journal was important to me, because it's the learning, it's the direct application today. And then it's the self-reflection at the end of the day to hold yourself accountable. Did I do what I said I was going to do? Because if you can't be true to you,
Yeah.
you're already, I mean, you're dead in the water. Like you can't be true to anybody else if you can't be true to you first. And a lot of us have a hard time making us a priority to be true to who we say we are. But that's where it starts.
Yeah. I believe that. And and so once we finish this, because even though it's 30 days, this is a continual learning process. Like you're going to discover and discover things about you and uncover some things and rebirth some things and dreams. And so after that, make sure you go get the good life.
Yes.
Y'all make sure you get this, because listen, this is going to help you as you uncover who you are. You know what I mean? It's like it all works together. Find out who you are, what's been holding you back, and those internalized beliefs and all of those things. Let's get rid of all of those so that we can really move forward in our lives. And I believe these 2 books should be definitely books you have in your life this year in 2023. I'm big on saying stop waiting, just do it. Just do it. Because sometimes as we study ourselves, we start thinking about all these things where we feel like we're inadequate, and that holds us back, that keeps us from moving forward. I'm telling y'all, everything I've done, and I praise God for it, every dream. I always say I'm gonna live till I'm 97 because I have that many dreams in my head. So I put it in the atmosphere, and I said I'm gonna live till I'm 97. I told my children, do not put me in no home or nothing like that. I'm gonna be vibe, I'm gonna be all that, full of life. So, but I say that to say, don't wait. Like you can start living now. You can start living a good life now. Discover who you are. Go become a student of you, because all this is so important. So you definitely need these 2 in your life this year. And when we come across some more good ones, we're gonna tell you need them too. So, but let's do. Here's the thing. Dr. Precious said, do the work, and it takes work. And why not lean on each other? Why not join the Facebook group and let's do it together, sis? Let's do this together. Let's come up together.
Yes.
Global girl, okay?
That's it.
Yes. So, hey, CC Northern, Deborah Hearns. She says, hey, Tori, her sister.
Love you, Deborah.
Hey. And my sister, Andrea Black, she has a wonderful book out too. Chandra, what's the name? I can't think of it right off now, but about her son's journey and how she dealt with things and grief and all of that, but the blessing in it all and all the things that God did. So listen, we have some wonderful people in our group. Make sure you go share your link to your book in our Facebook group as well, Chandrea, or put it in the comment section as well. So, Precious, this has been great.
I'm so glad.
It took over, but I just wanted to put that out for us. Y'all go get your book on the 1st and the 15th.
I'm sitting up here trying to order my book now. I'm trying to get information in here. That's why I keep looking down, trying to get it. But it's coming. I promise you it's coming. I'm so excited, and I can't wait to get it. And we have this journal, this time with you, 30-day journal with us. So thank you for agreeing to do that. That's confirmation. You're already thinking about doing it, and Renee said it. So that's just confirmation. So I love that. So I know we're at the top of the hour. Past our time, but I do want to give you last moments, minutes to say something that may be on your heart. It's some last bit of nuggets you want to leave with those who are listening and leave with us. And if you don't mind, pray us out.
Yes.
Dr. Precious. Thank you.
All of that. I am so grateful. God doesn't make mistakes,
Amen.
and He is faithful even when we are not.
Yeah.
And I am just so grateful that He allows me to be a vessel for what He would have His people to hear,
Thank you.
um, and experience, because that is what this is about.
Mm-hmm.
Making sure that I am a vessel for that. I love what I do. I love supporting people and helping people to see who they are, because
Yeah.
every time I'm a vessel, it grows me too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm so appreciative of the opportunity. The 30-day journey to me has blessed me. Writing it, doing the videos, doing the work on me to
Yeah.
get to the point where I can feel confident and comfortable sharing. It's been a journey, and I'm so excited that now it's just about walking in it and sharing it. And I'm grateful to each one of you for every single thing you've added to this conversation, and for every single thing that you've added to each other in community. Every time y'all show up to do these and have your chance, enriching each other, because iron sharpens iron. And I'm just
Yes.
so grateful that this exists so that even other people can see this is possible. This is
Mhm.
real. On this journey, we need the thought partnership of other sisters, of
Yeah.
other people who are also on this journey. There are over 8 billion people in this world doing the best they can.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so I'm just grateful to still be here and be a part of this journey with you all, and to hopefully have said something that pierced your heart to the point where it moves you to action. For a lot of us, the dopamine that flows into our brain when we have that high because we just learned something new, we experience it as if we've already done the thing.
Mhm.
We haven't done the thing yet. So my push is to take it and do it. Actually do it.
Amen.
Don't just live in this experience tonight, but to actually do it. God, we're so grateful for the opportunity to come together tonight, to have this experience together, to share together, and for every person who is under the sound of my voice, or who is in the chat, or who is watching, or who is having this experience at a later time. God, we ask that you just touch them where they are. Bless them where they are to be who they say they are, because you know who you've called them to be. God, we pray that something we've said or something we've done has been impactful for their lives. And we pray that that impact continues and flows through them, God. Even the people that we don't yet see or haven't yet touched, we pray, God, for all the people that we're connected to, who will connect to others, who will spread the message that emotional intelligence is not a luxury. It is about a process that you have put in place for us to continue to grow. God, we're so grateful for the growth. We're so grateful for the opportunity to continue to grow. Lord, I want to thank you for this Sister Story session, and for all the sisters that are on this call. I ask, God, that you touch their lives in a beautiful way, where they continue to impact the world the way that you called them to impact the world. God, I'm just grateful. My heart is full, and I'm thankful, and I'm grateful for this opportunity. And I pray that you continue to shine down on us and help us to continue to grow. In your son, Jesus' name, amen.
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 All right. Thank you so much. I hope you all enjoyed everything. And wow, God bless you. Don't forget, go out to silentrocked.com and order your journal today. It is worth the investment, because you are worth the investment.
Yes.
Love you
Absolutely.
all. Take care.
Love
Bye.
y'all.